They were watching her. Eleanor Thorne felt it before she even stepped into the VIP lounge. The stares, the subtle shift in tone when she handed over her boarding pass. It was always the same game. In the boardroom, she commanded respect. Here, in the sterile hum of an airport in a city that didn't know her name, she was just another black woman who someone thought didn't belong. The receptionist barely glanced at her ticket before tilting her head, smiling thinly. "Ma'am, this area is for first-class passengers only." Eleanor's eyebrow rose, and a flicker of surprise crossed the woman's face. She scanned the pass, then froze. The system lit up green. First class verified. Eleanor took the ticket back with a smile sharp enough to cut glass and stepped inside. She found a leather chair in the corner, set down her carry-on, and powered on her tablet. Peace lasted less than 5 minutes before a security guard loomed over her, all broad shoulders and clenched jaw. "Ma'am, I need to see your lounge access pass." "I already checked in at the front desk," she said without looking up. "Still need to see your ID." There was the double standard. Without a word, she produced her pass. He snatched it, eyes scanning for a flaw that wasn't there. His frown deepened. With visible reluctance, he handed it back. "Enjoy your stay." She was just settling again when a shadow returned, this time with reinforcements. A man in a suit, another with an airport security badge. "Ma'am," the suited man began, "we need you to come with us." Eleanor blinked. "What?" "There's been a report you're here without proper authorization." She almost laughed. "Almost. Tell me the name of the person who reported me." Silence. The officer shifted. The suited man tried again, "Just following protocol." "Is this protocol applied to everyone here?" Eleanor asked, her voice low and deliberate. Or just me?" Silence again. She took out her phone, hit record. "State your names for the record, and explain why I'm being asked to leave after my credentials were verified." The officer's jaw tightened. The guard looked toward the lounge manager. Tension rippled through the room. Other travelers were openly watching now. The man in the suit sighed and waved them off. "She can stay." Eleanor's calm didn't crack, but inside she was already calculating her next move. She had fought these battles before. She knew how to win them. She rose from her chair, approached the front desk, and asked for the lounge manager. He emerged, a polished man in a navy suit, practice smile ready. "Why was I questioned after verification?" she asked. "Apologies for the inconvenience. Call it what it is. I was profiled." He flinched. "That's not our policy. And yet here we are." He tried to pivot. "Perhaps a misunderstanding." "There was no misunderstanding," she said evenly. "There was an assumption, one I intend to correct." "What do you want from us?" "A real apology, accountability, and a conversation with your head office. Otherwise, Mr. Jones, the next meeting you have might look very different." His color drained. Eleanor didn't wait for an answer. She returned to her seat and typed a message. "Liam, this is bigger than me. We need to talk about airport policies." Across the room, the guard was still watching her. She met his gaze until he looked away. Her phone buzzed. A reply from Liam. Just spoke with her head office. They're calling the lounge manager any second now. Eleanor leaned back, exhaling slowly. This was the part she loved, the stillness before the impact. The reception desk phone rang. Moments later, a man in a gray suit stormed in mid-conversation on his cell, wiping sweat from his forehead, his eyes locked on the lounge manager. "Ben, we need to talk." They stepped aside, voices low but tense. Eleanor didn't need to hear the words to know they were scrambling. The manager's expression shifted from confusion to realization to panic. She sipped her water, patient as ever. Power wasn't in raising your voice. It was in knowing you didn't have to. The guard at the door stole another glance her way. She smiled. Not the friendly kind. The kind that promised this wasn't over. Somewhere beyond the glass walls of the lounge, her flight's gate announcement echoed faintly. But Eleanor wasn't moving. Not yet. The gray-suited man ended his call and approached Ben again, this time more urgently. The receptionist kept her head down, typing furiously as though staying busy could make her invisible. Eleanor checked her watch. Her next move had to be timed perfectly. She slid her phone back in her bag, adjusted her blazer, and rose from her seat. Every step toward the cluster of men at the front felt like tightening a noose. Ben saw her coming and straightened instinctively, as though bracing for impact. "Miss Thorne," he began, voice strained. "I think," she stopped in front of him, gaze level. "No, you think you know who I am, but you don't." The gray-suited man shifted uncomfortably. "Ma'am, perhaps we can." Her phone vibrated again. A message. Just 3 words. "It's already done." Her eyes flickered with something unreadable. Then she said softly, "You'll be hearing from me." She turned away, the hum of the lounge swallowing her steps, leaving them standing in silence. 3 men suddenly unsure of just how much trouble they were in. A few seconds later, both men turned to her. Eleanor raised her eyebrows, offering a polite smile as the older man stepped forward. "Miss Thorne, I presume," he said. "That's me. I'm Adam Brooks, Executive Relations. I've just spoken with our corporate team. It seems we've had a misunderstanding." Eleanor's fingers tapped the chair arm. "Is that what we're calling it? I sincerely apologize. It was completely inappropriate. We'll take immediate action to ensure it never happens again." "And what do you mean by immediate action?" "Additional training," for she cut him off. "I don't want training. I want accountability. A public apology to me and every traveler of color treated this way. A full review of your security protocols." "And that man," she nodded toward the security guard, "fired." Brooks hesitated. "That's a lot to ask. I can make a few more calls." His posture stiffened. "That won't be necessary." He turned to the lounge manager. "Ben, handle the announcement." Eleanor rose, smoothing her blazer. She had no intention of staying. As she grabbed her bag, the guard approached, uneasy. I didn't know who you were, and that, she said evenly, is the problem." She strode into the terminal, energy shifting around her. Travelers glanced her way, some with admiration, others with curiosity. She didn't need their approval. Her assistant had already sent meeting requests. This wasn't about one incident. It was about a pattern she intended to break. At her gate, she handed over her first-class ticket. The attendant froze, murmured an apology, and conferred with another employee. Eleanor readied her phone. Another misunderstanding brewing. Then a second attendant approached, smiling nervously. "Ms. Thorne, the captain would like to speak with you before boarding." Eleanor followed her down the jet bridge. The crew waited, tension in their eyes. The captain stepped forward, hand extended. "Ms. Thorne, welcome aboard." "I don't usually get personal greetings from the captain." He smiled faintly. "Unusual day. I've just heard from head office. Security procedures are being overhauled at every major airport we serve starting today." That was faster than she'd expected. "Impressive," she said. "And for what it's worth," he added, "it's about time. Do you always speak so freely with passengers?" "Only to the ones who own the airline." The words landed like a dropped pin. The crew stiffened, the original flight attendant paling. Passengers nearby had clearly overheard. Eleanor let the moment stretch, then stepped past the captain. "It's good to have you on board," he said. "Oh, I will," she replied, sliding in her seat. This boarding continued. Eleanor reflected on the irony. The same airline that had allowed her to be slighted was the one she had built and shaped. The problem wasn't the brand. It was the people blind to power when it stood before them. Today was bigger than her. It was about dismantling the reflex to diminish those who belonged just as much as anyone, if not more. As the plane taxied, she exhaled slowly, the faintest smile on her lips. No one here would forget who she was, and soon neither would anyone else.